Palantir announces a large partnership with Cred. We're going to be getting into the details about that, why this is bullish for the company in terms of a clientele perspective, and also in terms of a trading session down about a little over 1% today, but not to worry in my perspective because Palantir is still holding a large support level at the 17s. We're going to be talking about why this is critically important for the long-term bullish future for Palantir, and especially testing some very important price targets in the near future. Now, if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer, I can't thank you guys enough for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and if you guys are into PLTR, make sure you stay tuned. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just collecting on the data and dispatching it to you. Now, what we do have in terms of partnerships today is that Palantir announces this partnership right here with Cred. And talking about that, they are working on basically plastic waste upcycling and working on that. The way that Palantir and this company are kind of basically partnering or collaborating together is trying to bring efficiency to this Cred business and trying to incorporate themselves in terms of the supply chain and utilizing their AI technology to help improve the business. And why I think this is critically important and why I remain bullish on PLTR over the next decade is because they are starting to get away from solely pure governmental contracts and getting their feet wet with multiple different industries. We've seen this with the National Health Service. We've seen this with the PwC firm. We've seen them collaborating with a very amount of different companies and also utilizing their AIP bootcamp. I think has been a large catalyst that has allowed these possible businesses to utilize Palantir technologies for zero cost, basically a trial version. And this is a great business tactic as we see that has been positively reflected in the recent quarter earnings since they've had, number one, an increase in actual commercial customer revenue and an increase in commercial customer count. Now, in terms of that, governmental contracts are still important for Palantir. That is at the forefront, and the way that Palantir has basically received a majority of its income for the few decades that it's actually been in business, even though it's only been publicly traded for about 3 years, Palantir has been in this game for a long time. And that's where the uncertainty has came ahead, of course, with that William Blair analyst article that we've been talking about for a while now, but it still keeps continuing to be published. That is with the uncertainty of the upcoming Army contract that could be basically due for renewal here in the next few weeks. And there's a lot of eyeballs specifically looking at Palantir this Friday and why volatility could be heightened in terms of the trading sessions leading up to that date. Now, with that being said, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the uncertainty with that Army contract is that we could possibly see a reduction in, number one, the value behind that. It originally is at like 458 million, predicting here now at about the 100 millions, and also in terms of the duration of that contract going from 4 years to 2 years. And one of the biggest catalysts on where this uncertainty and basically where this is all stemming from is other vendors possibly coming in to the scenario. And why this brings a lot of flags up in the air for the people that are starting to freak out and getting too emotional is because it shows competition. But like I said, Palantir has been in the game for over 2 decades. This one bearish article that keeps continuing to be published over and over again is just regarding one Army contract. So I think if Palantir can continue to establish these partnerships with different types of firms within the commercial industry and continue to grow their business from that side of things and continue to increase their customers year over year. And also we've seen this with customers that are willing, still sitting at the table when Palantir really announced how many calls that they had. This is what keeps me bullish on Palantir, is them branching out. And I think they're doing a great job and getting into the commercial side of things with their AI technologies that they do have. And being one of the leading competitors in the AI industry, yes, AI in terms of a whole is still speculative in nature, but Palantir is really taking a big bet on this disruptive technology. We've seen this with even top investors like Cathie Wood. She agrees. She's just swooped up millions of shares with her ARK Invest. So in terms of that, and in terms of the bullish perspective, Data Dispatch is still remaining bullish on Palantir. What we do have talking about the next few days, options contracts are going quite crazy right now for Palantir, and that is because we have a lot of implied volatility, especially at that $18 and $19 strike price in terms of call volume. We see a lot of calls right now that are actually out betting the puts, and this is great because this shows that a lot of retail and institutional investors are taking a bullish perspective on Palantir here in the short term. And what we do have, possibly we're seeing with predictions right now, are rate hike cuts happening within the next year. We could see a few of those. That's what's at the table in terms of the federal interest rates. And this does have a large impact looking at the global macroeconomic perspective. And in terms of that, Palantir was a little bit in the red today with the global macroeconomics, the S&P 500, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, all in the green. But I don't think that's too big of a thing to be worried about, specifically looking at Palantir, like I said, in the near future. Now, let's quickly talk, even though we do have a bullish perspective, a few of you guys in the comments are saying, hey, can you pick a side? Can you pick a side? Like I said, we're not saying that Palantir is establishing, these specific price targets, these specific price predictions. We're talking because nobody knows in the end where the stock is going to go. But what we can do is take all the information that we have and make the best prediction in terms of the general momentum and also the emotion behind the stock, which can lead to a bullish or bearish perspective. Right now, if you guys are looking for a straight answer, I think we're still looking at bullish for 2024. There's a lot behind Palantir. But what I did specifically want to talk about is Palantir could easily flip the other way. There is a lot of valuation behind this company. People are paying a premium right now, and Palantir is trying to grow into that valuation. One of the biggest criticisms that we have seen is that decelerated revenue growth rate. Palantir originally predicted about 30% year over year. We see next year, they're predicting about 16%. A lot of people are criticizing this and saying, why is it being oppositely correlated with the increased valuation that this eventually will have to come to an end? However, I think if Palantir can utilize their AIP bootcamp metrics and also utilizing their cash balances that they have, which are enormous with basically zero debt compared to the cash that they have on hand, they can invest a lot of resources in developing the commercial side of things. So continuing to grow in terms of a commercial perspective, I think is really important for Palantir, and which is why I remain bullish behind this stock. Other types of AI stocks that we do have that people are particularly taking a look at are things like C3.ai. And if you compare that even to Palantir, a lot of people would probably take a bet on Palantir, I think, in my own opinion. But other than that, we're going to be keeping you guys updated on a daily basis. I want to know, what do you guys think about how this channel is going? Do you want me to keep continuing making these daily PLTR videos? Do you want me to branch into other types of stocks? I'm also open to doing that, but I can't really thank you guys enough for the continued support. I've enjoyed making these videos, and I want to keep growing the channel and even expanding into different stocks. So if you have different ones that you want me to look at, and of course, continuing with the PLTR fans, don't worry, we're not going to get rid of the PLTR videos. Then leave them down in the comments and let's start a discussion. It's been great making these videos. But other than that, I think that's all that I have for you guys. Take care, peace out, and of course, make sure you always do your own investment research before making an investment decision, because anybody can say anything that they want to, but in the end, it's your own hard-earned dollars that you're making. Peace out and take care.